There are hundreds of weapons in Skyblock, and they're all unique in their own way. Some deal different damage, some of them have different abilities, but one of the biggest known weapons is the Aspect of the End, and most people would say that this is the most unique weapon, just because you can use it to teleport all around the map. But something I think we could all agree with is that the Emerald Blade is one of the craziest weapons. There are so many videos revolving around the Emerald Blade, but I've never seen anyone talk about its history before. So this is the history of the Emerald Blade. Now, you see these dates on the screen and you might be wondering what they mean, but this is the day that the Emerald Blade was added to Hypixel Skyblock. There was only one way to obtain this new weapon, and you had to mine 50,000 emeralds to unlock its recipe. But that wasn't all. To craft the weapon, you actually need 51,600 emeralds, and that means after you finally get the recipe unlocked after countless hours of mining, well, then you have to mine even more to get enough to actually craft the weapon. Or if you were somewhat smart, you would just have your minions do the work for you. And if you don't know what minions are, they're basically unpaid workers that will mine or farm resources forever. Yeah, that's pretty much what they are. Anyways, let's say you finally crafted the Emerald Blade, but then you realize what it actually did. The Emerald Blade's damage is scaled on how many coins you have in your purse. This means if you don't have any coins, then the weapon just does not deal good damage. I'm not really sure if you've ever played Skyblock before or if you've ever watched anyone play it, but Skyblock players are a different breed. They do not have lives. They're just on a constant grind. And because of that, people have gained billions and billions of coins. But what's crazy is that just recently a YouTuber named Swavy made a video on a 26 billion coin Emerald Blade. I don't even know what to say for that one. How do you have 26 billion coins? That'll be something we can talk about later though, but for now, let's start with Hypixel. He was the first person to test out the 1 billion coin Emerald Blade on YouTube, and this was crazy. At the time of the video, I believe it was like October 7th of 2019, and the best weapon in the game at the time was just the 50 mil Midas. But after he did this damage testing with the 1 billion coin Midas, it made the Midas Sword just look like a wimp. Pig was dealing around 90,000 damage with his Emerald Blade, and at the time that was like a really high record damage. And if you are curious on how Pig did acquire 1 billion coins, well, he just had some help from his guild members who all donated him some money to have him make that video. But now let's get a little bit crazier and look at a player who used a 5 billion coin Emerald Blade. This was around 6 months after Pig made his video on the Emerald Blade, and then during that 6-month gap, there was a lot of different updates that added new items, and just a lot of ways to increase overall damage. But 6 months later, AgroMC had the great idea to ask some of the richest players on Skyblock to let him borrow some money for this video. Agro had a total of 5 billion coins, and with this weapon, he was dealing around 400,000 damage to the Zealots in the end. And if you remember, Pig was only dealing around 80 to 90,000 damage. But this next part had the community just laughing. So, Agro decided to do some of these Ender Dragon boss fights with his, his 5 billion coin Emerald Blade. And literally, I'm not lying to you, he is so bad at dragons that even with this super overpowered weapon, he literally placed like last place in every boss fight. I'm sorry, Agro. I'm sorry that I just did you like that. And after all the damage testing was over, it was time to transfer back all the money to the people he borrowed it from. And then, the impossible happened. A YouTuber banned? Well, believe it or not, Agro did end up getting banned because of him receiving all that money from his friends. And it's kind of weird. The Hypixel system was reporting that AgroMC was IRL trading. And if you don't know what IRL trading is, basically it's when someone is selling in-game coins or items for real-life money, which is illegal, and that's why, he got banned for it. But obviously he did not IRL trade because everything was streamed on Twitch and everything was, well, it was seen right there. But the system was just wrong, and then, yeah, it just picked it up that he was IRL trading even though he wasn't. But it was just all because he was trading a large amount of money, which, well, that normally just wouldn't happen. This next part was a bit sneak peeked in the beginning of the video, and you may have been waiting for it, but recently Swavey did a 26 billion coin Emerald Blade test. There's a little bit of a backstory though. So for some reason, when you're trying to either craft this weapon or use the Emerald Blade, and you have over 26 billion coins, then the weapon just either deletes itself or you can't craft it. It's really weird. I'm not sure why it does that. But what they figured out is that if you have 25.5 billion coins, then you can use the Emerald Blade, or you can craft it. Nobody really knows why this is a thing. Maybe it has something to do with the integer limit or something, but I just can't really explain that. But now, let's see what Swavey does with this magical weapon. He had to fill up an entire end lobby with just his friends because he wanted to get the maximum damage possible. Swavey didn't just have a 25.5 billion coin Emerald Blade, he had the best gear and the best items possible. And the reason he filled up his end lobby was because he had an enchantment called the Legion. And this is basically where the more people around you, then the more damage you will be dealing. But now it's time for him to swing his weapon, and well, he dealt over 8 million damage to a zealot on a single hit. That is insane. Now, you might think that's pretty bizarre because I did, but let's just say, after Swavey did a dragon boss fight, in one single hit on that dragon, he dealt 11 million damage. This is just something I would never think could be possible. 11 million damage in a singular hit on Hypixel Skyblock? That is record breaking. So in the past, there were a few times when Hypixel opened up their alpha network to the public, and the alpha network is used for testing out future updates and then maybe some just cool ideas that might be added to the real Skyblock server in the future. But on that server, people found some exploits and workarounds to get an Emerald Blade, and a YouTuber by the name of Rooney actually tried a 100 quadrillion coin Emerald Blade. But just like Swavey, he ran into a similar issue. Even though he did have unlimited money and he wasn't on the real Hypixel Skyblock, still for some reason you just couldn't use the Emerald Blade with that much money. For some reason, like, he could hold out the Emerald Blade, but he couldn't even walk forward and he couldn't switch lobbies or anything. He was just like frozen in place, all glitchy. There are so many bugs with this weapon when having so much money. But honestly, I think the admins never expected people to have billions of coins like they do today. It would be cool though to see what type of Emerald Blades people will try out in the future. Maybe someone will eventually try a 100 billion coin Emerald Blade. Maybe in a year or so, a trillion coin Emerald Blade. That would be bizarre and actually crazy if that happened. This video did take a lot of hours to make, and it really just put a drain in my head. So if you did enjoy the video, maybe help me out and just consider subscribing. That's all I ask, and hopefully I see you guys soon, and have a great day.